Good morning. Welcome to Happy Flying, stream number 26. I can't believe we are here. That is actually like half a year for those people who are amazing at maths. But yeah, bit of a fun stream today. So thanks for checking in. I just need to go through some of the audio checks. I think this is working. We're nailing it out. It's been pretty good so far. It seems like we've ironed a couple of the bugs out. But let's see. Can you guys hear me? Mic check, mic check. How's the stream coming through? Is it working? All that sort of good stuff. So that's what I want to just double check before we go through, talk about what's going to be on in the stream. If you're just tuning in, well, we've got a little bit to talk about. We're going to be talking about like holidays, where I've been the last week, a bit of a slower week, Chinese New Year, or the holidays in China and things shutting down for FPV over there. Some pretty exciting stuff from TBS we're going to be talking about in a little bit. I have check the size of this thing out. This is also going to be spoken about, and we have we're going to be opening one of these packages as well. Yeah, and just also going through, clearing up some confusion, checking out DIYFPV, answering some questions, just generally having a good time. But it sounds like you guys can hear me. I've changed some things up here on the screen though to sort of read your chat, but I'm a creature of habit, and I don't think I think I'm going to switch it back to the way it was because I found that easier to concentrate. I'm getting way too distracted with my ADHD brain. Let me just change these around. We put this here, and I still want to be able to read this chat, so let me extend that. All right, so people saying, let's see, looks like we are working. People saying you're gold. Kevo Hill is saying, this may be the only stream I ever watch live and I don't even fly. So thanks for tuning in, man. We are here week in, week out. This is the best part of my working week. I'm super stoked just to be here, connect with you guys, talk all things FPV, answer your questions. And if you've got some things you want to mention or some new products you want checked out, definitely throw them in the chat down below. We're going to be going through and just hanging out, basically, chatting about drones. But you definitely should be flying there, Kivo, because FPV is an amazing hobby. I've been in here for about 10 years. I absolutely love it. And if I can share that with as many people as I can, I feel like that is my mission. That's what I want to do, definitely for the long foreseeable future anyway. I've been doing it for 10 years, and I could not enjoy it more. I think I love it more today than even when I first started. Even when I got that first flight and those first, like that little flight bug, I've been hooked ever since. But let's talk about what is coming up in this stream. So the first thing, it is a bit of a slower week. So you will notice on my channel, we did not have, I don't think I put up a single video last week, and that is going to change next week because it's been a little bit crazy here over in the UAVFutures household. Two things that will drastically shape UAVFutures moving forward for 2025, and I am so pumped. Number one, there's two sort of major things. Number one, that my youngest kid, so she is going off to like, I call it big school, but you know, like not preschool, normal formal government education. I don't know what, like they call it prep here. Some places call it kindergarten, whatever you want to call it. She is going to school starting tomorrow, which means that I will have 5 days of like no children in the house. And I'm sure, hopefully my kids aren't watching this. I love it when they're home. It is amazing, kids, if you ever see this. It's so good when you're here and we're hanging out and we're playing games, but trying to get work done, trying to get filming done, trying to get like editing done or anything like that, it is almost impossible. Even when you cannot tell a 5-year-old or a 4-year-old, I should say, this almost a 5-year-old, you know, can you just tone it down a little bit? Can you just be a little bit more quiet? And especially too, because where my office is and where I do like the editing, there's the kitchen and the dining table and like the lounge room at the other end up there. So it's all like open and connected. But anyway, they're going to be at school 5 days a week, which means I will have like so much more time to be able to like film, edit, and it's just going to be a quieter, easier workplace for me to manage. So I'm expecting my productivity to increase, which I'm really excited about because there is so much stuff that I want to do with FPV and do with DIYFPV. Now to have that opportunity, it's going to be great. And the second thing, which is why it was a little bit slower. You would have seen on this week. First, what we're going to see of why we didn't have a video this week is because my wife, she started a new job. She's a teacher, and then a school contacted her and was like, you know what, would you like to come work at this school, helping us do some things here? And she's like, yeah, all right. So she had to start last week, which meant that she's going to be full-time there as well. And so, and again, house to myself. But the kids, they're still on school holidays. So until tomorrow. So the entire last week, I've had the kids all day, just me. We've just been hanging out. It has been awesome. It has been a lot of fun. But that's why there's been no UAVFutures videos or anything like that. So if you've been hanging out, waiting for a video, being like, man, why isn't Stu uploading? I was just trying to spend some time with my family, give the kids a great holiday before they have to go back to school. And it sort of hit home a little bit of like, oh, this is the last time. I'll be doing UAVFutures forever, but this is the last time that my kids will be home before going off to school. Like, I don't know, it was before they sort of grow up, and then you never get that time back again. So we've been having an absolute blast hanging out with them. We didn't do any drones or anything like that. We're sort of just having spending some great time with my kids. And call me crazy here, but I sort of set myself a challenge of like no TV and no screens. Which meant we did so much stuff. Check this out, actually. And I promise we will talk about FPV in a little bit, but I guess I like to share some things that are going on in my life and provide some answers. But we went to one of my, I guess, like a little secret spot that I have here. Let me see if I can find this actually. Just needs a little bit of scrolling. So where, this won't take too long. Okay. It's probably just on my phone. That'll be an easier way to show you. Because yeah, this was like, at one point I was like, okay, we need to get out here, have a look, and explore this place. And if anyone ever comes to visit, I'll be like, yeah, well, let's go here. If you like fishing, you're going to love this place. So if I, how do I upload this? I'm not very good with this phone. Share. This is like the worst live stream ever. I know you guys are all hanging out being like, Stuart, what are you doing? You're just looking at your phone. No, I promise we're going to be answering FPV, but I really want to show you. I should have organized this before. Okay, what about if I just do this and I send it here? I'm hoping that will send. It says sent. Now I should be able to pull it up on my computer and have a look. If not, you guys are just going to miss out. All right. So right here, I've got it. This is what I wanted to show you guys. So here we are. Finally, people say the suspense is killing them. All right, someone's saying I can't even take my wife. I can't even get my wife to take a vacation. Okay, yeah, well, my wife's, she's gone back to work. Anyway, so I'm at home with the kids. This is one of the coolest things that we did. So if I jump over here, please don't break computer. Check this out. So this is like a secret little fishing spot that I discovered near my place. I don't think many people would know that it exists. I have probably seen 4 other parties there over the course of like 2 years. And if you go the other way too, it's like looking out into the ocean. So yeah, so this is like high tide, and the tide goes all the way up into here and sort of disappears, and then this will all be like all the run out tide. But yeah, we've been doing some fishing, hanging out, being sun safe, of course, in Australia. But yeah, just a really, really cool time hanging out with the kids, with the family. The wife's gone back to work. The kids go back to school tomorrow. So I will be running UAVFutures 5 days a week, being here, answering your questions, just I don't know, having a good time talking FPV. So there's the little roundup of what we've been up to and why you haven't seen any content on UAV Futures. Don't need to save that picture. All right, let's answer some of these, and then I want to talk a little bit as well about some stuff from TBS and some new wings and things like that. All right. I can't even... Oh, someone's saying cool spot. Crash and burn. Budget build vids would be great. 3.5 inch would be great. I think that's what you mean by 3.5 inch. The thing with budget is it's not so much the size. If you're going to be designing a budget drone, it's like you can get very expensive whoops. You can get very expensive 5 inches. Just because this is a bit of a misconception as well. Just because something is smaller doesn't necessarily mean it's cheaper. Miniaturization quite often, especially when it comes to electronics, requires like more specialized technology, and it is harder to produce components on a really, really small scale. So it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be cheaper. All right, and Johnny DRC is saying, I'd love to visit Australia, but I can't find any airline that'll take my wheelchair. Yeah, and it also takes forever to get here, like on the other side of the planet. So it's pretty tricky to go on holidays to anywhere but New Zealand, which is essentially just like a cooler Australia, if I don't say so myself. Okay, let's talk about this. Oh, and another reason why you might have seen it is also like Chinese New Year, or I think there's like a big holiday happening, and especially like things in China shutting down. I'm getting a lot of communications when a lot of people are like, hey, Stu, I'm not going to be available for these times, so I'm not going to be back until like sometime in February, and they're sending me all the dates. So that is another reason why it's been pretty quiet on the FPV news side of things. Definitely when it comes to products and things getting manufactured and that. So yeah, that is also another reason why this week is just a little bit quieter than usual. Rick is saying, never have to justify family priorities. It's number one, no question. Yeah, absolutely. Like I'm going to be doing FPV for the next decade. I've already done it for a decade. But this was the last week that before my kids are not grown up, but like enter the next stage of going to their life full time. So yeah, just trying to make the most of that. Been having a great time. We fixed up the sand pit out the back, and they, did a little bit of housework, and not yard work, I should say. So we could really just hang out and have fun. Probably got a little bit too sunburned, actually. All right. This is what I want to talk about. Next thing I'm going to talk about, you will have heard some rumors of the TBS wing. And if you haven't flown wings, we're going to be talking about that a little bit. I've shown this off before because I don't want to get in trouble. But I had Trappy come to visit a little while ago. So if you don't know who Trappy is, that's the head of TBS or Team Black Sheep. But check this out. I already have this one ready. Okay. 3, 2. This is a sneak peek of an absolute performance in like. I've never seen a flying craft with as much power as what you're about to sort of witness. Now, when I click play on this, so this is Trappy. I had to blur this part out because it's still possibly under embargo, but I am very happy to say that this product is on its way, and you're going to be seeing, like I've already filmed a little part when Trappy came over and we were like talking about it and the pros and cons, and I guess we had a lot of pros to say about it because it's his product. We've already spoken about it, but now I have it on the way. I'm going to be showing people how to put it together, what it's like, and sort of just doing some really, really cool stuff with it. But just you can even just hear the power from this thing. Check this out. 3, 2, 1. Oh my God. There we go. So it's gone. It's disappeared. Holy smokes. Yeah. So it was very, very cool. That's trapped there. You can even see his smile, like his product, but seeing it launch and disappear. If you like wings or FPV or just some insane flying machines, stay tuned because that's going to be coming up on the channel. I think it's getting here in 2 days' time. So I'll be able to work on that a little bit as well, put that together. I am so stoked to be able to finally show you guys what I think it really is the most impressive wing that I've ever seen. I'll tell you all about the building experience because I didn't put it together. This was one that they'd pre-built, and when they came over and bought it through customs and then took it back with them. But yeah, very, very exciting times. It's finally here. I know we've had a couple of delays in getting this video out, but it is just around the corner. Now you might be saying, who are wings for? Like I can see Prevail is saying, nice, I got 2 wings for Christmas. Just picked up a third. And someone else is saying, we're witnessing pixels. And I need a beginner's wing video. Yep. Well, this is where I would say, is the TBS wing a beginner's wing? Should you get it if you're a beginner? No. Like what from what I've seen and flown, and I'm no expert at all, but a wing like this, excuse me, over here on DIYFPV. So I just had a look, like this wing, it's cheaper. It's like just easy to fly. It's not that the TBS wing is difficult to fly, but it is fast, and it like has an insane glide ratio. So a typical wing like this, it'll probably get like 4 to 1 or like 4 meters of gliding forwards versus 1 meter like loss in altitude. The TBS wing, I think, is between 10 to 12. So it is like 4 times more efficient at gliding. And this, which means if you're going to land this thing, you really need to sort of have a bit of a higher, it's got a higher skill ceiling. It's extremely fast, the TBS wing. If you're a beginner just jumping in, you want to get something, this is great. They're cheaper, you can bash them around, they're easy to put together. And the best thing about wings that I really like is if they break, you can just literally hot glue it back together and it will be forgiving. It will still be able to fly. Yeah, if a wing is slightly off, it might be like pulling to one direction, or you might need to trim it out. But it's not like a drone where if you had a broken arm, it's going to be very, very difficult to fix without like basically putting in a new replacement. With a wing, like they can take such a beating. They're still like totally beginner friendly, especially if you get something like this. And also, it's not very difficult to fly. You can fly them with one hand, unlike a drone, which takes quite a lot to get used to. The big difference, though, if you've never flown a wing before, where something like this can be really, really precise, so like a little Lightning V2, or any drone for that matter, like any standard FPV drone, you can stop on a dime. Like, you don't need to worry about the flight paths, so to speak, that you're taking. If you're flying around a wing, though, you can't just stop. You can't just be like, oh, I just need to shift my plane, I say that like plane or axes, over a little bit and then continue. A wing sort of has like a travel line where you can't just move around. If there is a tree in the way and you haven't preempted that, you're probably going to hit it. So yeah, it's easier to fly, but it is like it's locked into its course, so you need to preempt how it's going to fly, if that makes sense. I'm not too sure. Let me know if you've got some experience with wings as well, if you've had any hiccups or any fails. But it's definitely worth it. It just totally opens up a whole new avenue to FPV. If you've already got, and I'd say line of sight is significantly harder as well. FPV just makes flying them so much easier. If you have a mate that can launch it for you, launch it over your head would be a good little tip as well. I don't know I'm sure there's a name for that, where you hold both, pretend this is a wing, you hold both wings of the wing, and then yeah, just throw it straight up over your head. Much easier than boomerang style, which is a real rookie way to launch it, which is what I was doing with Stickman Steve. So, and just absolutely like hammer the throttle, and then you'll be golden. Like, and have somewhere safe to land as well. So a big open field is often best. Do not learn to fly a wing in a congested area with a lot of people around, because you'll be amazed at when you want it to stop flying and you want it to land, it might actually take a few attempts. So yeah, a lot of pros and cons. We're going to be covering a whole bunch of it anyway when we're talking about the TBS wing, but you'll be seeing that video come up in just a little while. Someone says they're building a Dark Knight now, not to be confused with the Drac Knight. 2 from Crash Test Hobby, and an Atomic Theobat super inexpensive. Yeah, wings. That's from Prevail. I think that's how you pronounce it. Yeah, wings can be really, really cheap. And if you've already got all the gear, like maybe you've got goggles, maybe you've already got your batteries, you've already got your radio, just to throw in. A lot of these too will come with a receiver. Like if we have a look here, what do we got? Let's have a look. What do you actually get for $89? Let's have a look. This was just the first wing I typed in DIYFPV as well. So you get, and this is probably a bit of an old version too. Is it just the shell? You definitely wouldn't get a VTX in here. Here's like an old Mark 1 DJI. Okay. Maybe this is just the shell. Recommended. So, okay. Oh, but then it says battery not included. This is really confusing. Because otherwise it would say all this is not included, right? Let's have a look. It looks like it's already put together. Kit version. I don't know. So you guys can see right there if what does kit version mean? I'm going to guess it comes with everything to get flying. Like, what other wings do we have? What about? Let's have a look at phaser. Is that any more descriptive? And this is Australian dollars here. That's why you're looking at that price difference. This is probably all just pro specifications. Kit includes kit, hardware pack, wings, camera nose piece, back fins. And okay, so if you want the plug and play, propeller. What's the difference? One hardware pack. I think they're the same, but maybe this one's already built. Someone's saying AR Pro. Oh, Johnny DRC is saying the AR Pro is a heavy wing. Yeah, it is. It is. It's just, but still very easy to fly. Nice and docile, pretty stable. You can fly them too with flight controllers, which take a lot of the jitters out. I'm pretty lazy when it comes to setting up my wings when I'm cruising around with them. Kit means it needs electronics. Plug and play means it needs battery and receiver. Bind and fly needs batteries. Yeah, but I'm looking at here. So we've got the kit. Look at the difference between here, right? So here's the kit, hardware pack, wings, camera nose, blah, 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 blah. You get a propeller in the plug and play, but hardware pack, wings, camera nose, blah, blah, blah. So these two sound like the same. So maybe the Sonic model, just clarify that. What else we got if we have a look for some wings, even though... I don't recommend getting something like that's like wings are much easier than a fixed wing. Don't get them confused. I know this one's out of stock, but I did really like this one. I built one of these actually recently with Steve, and it came with receivers and it came with everything but a receiver. So I'm guessing no okay, kit version, no electronics. Plug and play version, electronics components come uninstalled, so you got to put it together. There we go. So this one at least is labeled out a little bit better than the old version. A little bit more expensive. Oh, it's Australian dollars. What are we in USD? $73. Is that what it said on the out of stock? That's why we don't have a price on DIYFPV. Okay. I've got one with iNav and a 3-watt VTX. I have been thinking, but I'm a little bit worried about regulations when it comes to the CADX repeater. If I had a large wing up in the sky that was just like set for maximum efficiency that had a CADX repeater attached to it, but I think maybe that's not good to do with the regulations because it's really pushing the limits of probably on what you're supposed to do. So yeah, we do have a CADX repeater video coming out too. I just need to find the correct way without getting in too much trouble to be able to do that. Lenny is saying, hi, I've been watching your channel for a while and my first build was based on your tutorial of 99 FPV drone that you built. So there we go. It's giving me a lull. Congratulations. That, for its time, I think was a great way to get into the hobby. You cannot do that nowadays. That price, we had to scrape and scrimp, and it's just not possible anymore. To build a 5-inch drone for under $100, you're never going to see that again in the hobby. Even adjusting for inflation, it's like almost a decade ago now. We're probably in right at the right time, getting people in. Yeah, so if you built that and if you got flying and you are still here in the hobby, it's absolutely my pleasure, my friend, because I know that video got a lot of people flying. The drone by today's standards is absolutely garbage. But for 2016 or 2017, whatever it was, it's definitely, it was up there for like dollar to fun factor. There were, and also other drones were like $500 at the time. So it's so much cheaper than anything else that people had ever seen. Chris is saying, good morning, Stu. Have you got your O4 yet? Now, we did have a look. They were out of stock in Australia, so that's what we're looking at last week. However, we have some in the post. They are on their way, so I couldn't get any in Australia. Spoke to some other suppliers. We should have, by this time next week, they should have turned up. And I made sure they were shipped before the Chinese New Year or the holidays over there in China happened as well. So no, not yet, but they are on their way, or at least that's what my emails tell me. So we're going to be having some DJI O4 stuff come out. And you know what the best part is as well? Like, everybody has done their hype. They've pushed all their videos. The YouTube scene has been absolutely saturated with DJI O4 videos. And this gives me an opportunity I don't have to rush anything. I can really go through, do the testing, talk about like the things that I like and how it shapes FPV for my everyday flying. There's no rush to really just get that video out because of the embargo and trying to get the views. Like, that ship has already sailed. So I can just give you the video that you deserve with the right information so you can make the right choice and decide, hey, is this a good product? Should I get it? How does it change FPV for me? Does it make my other products obsolete? Can I enjoy FPV without it? Like, that's ultimately what I want to make, is content so you can watch it and be like, oh, thanks for that information. That informs my decision going forward if I want to make a purchase, or if you just want to watch it for entertainment. Well, hopefully you can enjoy that as well. Chris Croft, I am told the D1 store at Carindale has both in stock. Okay. Well, we've already got some in the post. So if they don't turn up, that might be an option to go hit them up. And Mystery is saying, hi, UAVFutures. I have an option to get a secondhand Integra and new O4 Pro for less than the price of new O3 goggles. Should I get that for the new 3 goggles with the O4 Pro? It's going to be my first build. So you're saying, should you get some Integra goggles, or should you get new goggles 3? Well, here's how I guess it depends on the price difference. If it was me, I feel like, and normally I say secondhand stuff is great, and other people can let this know in the comment. And I have to say too, like, both of these goggles, I have not flown the Integra goggles, so I can't comment on them. And I don't have a pair of O3 goggles. I've only tried them out. I would probably get the O3 just for like future proofing, especially with the O4 around the corner. Like, not around the corner, but the O4 has just released. I don't think there's a new goggle coming out from DJI anytime soon. Like, the O3 is sort of like, yeah, we're going to stick with this. This is what we're going to use. The goggles 3, I should say. So confusing with things, but yeah, that would be my recommendation. Maybe don't. What are they selling them for? Like, why have they also got? I wonder if there's some features too that might be locked to the latest goggle 3 that you can't do with the Integra. So I would probably say, if you're going to be forking out that much money anyway, I would save up. And he's also too saying it's going to be my first build. Is there a reason that you need to go the O4 Pro? Like, are you going to be doing filming? I know the light, some people have been saying, has some issues. It doesn't feel as nice as the Pro, but it's still going to be, from what I've seen, pretty awesome and it also gives you some options to have a little smaller craft as well. I know that's Chris is saying the question is, are you interested in race mode? Yeah, it's I would recommend the newer goggles, and it's not often that I say that, so I'm not saying that lightly as well. On cheap drones, do you think Fly Times 85 ID is worth the price point? Let's have a look here. So is that this one? Like a flywoo frame? So what we're talking about? So this is what I get when I type in, God, I love this website. Not just because it's mine. Let's have a look here. For like $300, do I think that this is worth it? I mean, Flywoo's making some amazing stuff. They've been around for a long time. I don't think it's not worth it. Let's have a look here. This is a walk snail one. Not now. It's not. You know what? I don't hate that. I think that's kind of I kind of really like that. And you could also take these I hate it how this is. I can't put my mouse over here. You could also probably take these off by the look of it if you don't want to have this around the outside. I mean, sure, it looks fun. That's but I haven't flown it, so but I don't think it's not a budget drone. Yeah, I don't see why not. It depends also too, like if you're going to go analog or digital, what version you're going to be putting in there. Doug is saying, Stu, your house is magnificent. Is this your third year here? Yes, we moved up in COVID, and that was like COVID in Australia feels like very, very different to the rest of the world. We were down at a place called Victoria, which is why we don't live down there. And for a year, basically a year, that's when I also got really, really depressed down there because you couldn't go outside. I couldn't do like filming, and I couldn't go outside and fly drones. And also the government or the state was like, oh, and we're also not going to support your business. So thank goodness we had some savings to really scrape through that. And then they were like, we're going to lock down again. And I was like, I can't do another year here. So we moved up here. So it was one of the best things we ever did. I absolutely love it here. It's the weather like Florida with less hurricanes and no alligators, but maybe some crocodiles if you go a little bit further north, but everything can kill you in Australia. So that wasn't really a contender. We also get more space to fly around here as well, which was a huge reason where we got out of suburbia, moved a little bit rural, and yeah, we can fly drones, fly planes, grow veggies, and just have a little bit more of a quieter lifestyle than living in suburbia when we lived in Victoria. So thank you very much. The grass does grow insanely fast up here, though, so I have to mow the lawn like every 5 days, basically. When I bought the place, the guy said, oh, have you got a good lawnmower? And I said, no, I don't. I'm going to have to get one. He said, oh, if you buy the place, I'll give you one. I said, yeah, all right, deal. And then thank goodness I did that because if I didn't have that mower thrown in, I would be like the thinnest person ever. I'd be so healthy. I'd just have to start mowing now with my push mower, and then when I finished, it'd be time to do it again. So it'd be like a constant treadmill. I recall somewhat backyard, especially. I'm not too sure what you mean by that. Someone's saying, "Hey, happy." Oh, that's talking to someone else. And Chris is saying Southeast Queensland is great. A really cool FPV communities here as well. Shout out to the Rebels. I need to go and catch up with them sometime as well. Maybe at one of they do like a little whoop night at every first Friday, I believe, of the month. So I'm going to try and I need to get to one of those. I want to go meet some local pilots and stuff. Someone's saying super windy in Wollongong. It's been really hard to fly here lately. And yeah, that's one of the worst things I think about FPV is when you are stuck at work and you're looking out the office window or watching the world go by, you see so many cool flying spots, but you are busy, but the weather is amazing. It is sunny, there's no wind. And then when you finally get like something you are pumped to fly and your mates are ready or your batteries are charged, That's when Mother Nature says, oh, we might just sprinkle a little bit of rain in here. What's going on? We might make it really, really windy. So that's also one of the beauties about living up here versus down in when I used to live in Victoria in a place called Geelong. It is the windiest place I have ever been to in my life. And when we went back for Christmas, I was reminded, like, it just does not stop. Like 50-kilometer-per-hour winds is like the constant all the time. I have no idea how I managed to fly as much as I did down there. All right. Let's see. Informative. I sold out of the hobby a while back, but found some Goggles X for $310 on Facebook and couldn't pass it out. Now waiting on a Lightning 2 in the mail. I'm excited. 2-inch should be cheaper than 5-inch repairs. Yep. These, some of the, I'm assuming that was like, is that 310 USD? How much are they? What are they? $4.99 normally? These are the Goggles X. Okay, so you got a pretty big discount on, that's these. That actually is what you currently have spoken about flying is my current like system of choice. I love flying that all the time. With that said though, I can't wait to try the new DJI, and I've seen some really, really cool things from there. But it doesn't mean that you can't have fun with what you have. Like, just because those other products exist doesn't take away any excitement or any fun that you're going to have in the hobby. And that's really important for people as well. So you might see other products that have bells and whistles, but it shouldn't change the amount of fun that you can have with your stuff. So you've made the right decision. Everyone makes the right decision for them with the information that they have, regardless of what other products are like. And I have to say, I am really excited about testing DJI and O4 and the N3s and all that sort of stuff. That's a big discount on these goggles, and I do really like flying around with the Lightning V2 with Walk Snail. It's been my number one craft of 2024. I flew this thing more, not this specific one, but I flew that thing more than any other craft last year. But yeah, you should have a great time. Let me know if you get stuck on anything. If you want some like there's a couple little extras that you need to do. I might have even done a video about it, but some things to really change the Lightning up. My recommendations, the back here, if you put a small piece of clear heat shrink between that and wire up a tiny little LED, that will sort of diffuse the light from the back of it. It makes it like great if you're flying around with other people. I like 4-blade props on these. It just makes it even more grippy because it's got more than enough speed. So a little 4-blade prop is going to slow it down ever so slightly, but you get better handling, so to speak. And then the last one, I think they're still doing this, but inside here, it has a dedicated like receiver. If you can take this receiver out and swap it for one that has a proper full-size antenna. So this is like the RP1 or RP2, and if it's not, it's vice versa. But this one has the little ceramic antenna. I wish they didn't do that. So I don't like the ceramic antennas on these little craft. I've never had a failsafe, but I feel more confident for me, and it only adds like an extra gram, that I want that extra just confidence when I'm flying around. So that'd be my little tip. And the last one, you need a little bit of camera protection on here because that is the biggest fault about the Lightning V2. You can see the camera lens sticks out ever so slightly. I haven't designed one yet. I don't have a 3D printer that works anymore, so my printers are really, really old. I am in two minds whether you need like a crumple crash protection, maybe even just two little things that came out the side that were designed to break and take the impact, like a modern day car bumper. If it hits something, it's designed to crumple and then you replace it. Or if we had a larger sort of TPU lens that took some of that impact. So I don't know which one is going to be better, a design point of failure or something to protect it further in the long run. But yeah, you're going to have an awesome time regardless of what you're flying around. Someone's saying, Johnny DRC, it is $150 for the Lightning in the US. That's for analog. What are they? I think they're... Transtech Lightning. No, that's not the real one. It's from YMZ FPV. I'm building mine using a Happy Model Crazy F4, F5. Yeah, I think the frames are really cheap, actually. Let's have a look here. Frames, drone part, frames. Base plate. Okay, here you go. Yeah. The base plate is $10. What's the top plate's probably more expensive part though. $20. All right, so it's $30 for the whole thing. It's not as cheap as I was hoping for. But I do like you can order just which part you've broken. And I have broken both a frame and also a top aluminium mount, or at least the top one I can bend back in, but I absolutely smashed this full speed into a chimney, and amazingly, it survived. Okay, it is time to, what motors am I running? I noticed yours are silver, but mine are bluish green color. Yeah, this is one that turned up the other day with another product to review, which is not around here. I'm probably going to be switching a DJI to test it out in this as well. I have the old version. These are 1003s, 10,000 kV. That's what it says on here. I've never flown with this one, so if you could double check yours and let me know. I think mine are the green aqua teal version as well, the one that I've been flying like all last year. So let me know. All right. And it's the Drac Knight, Stu, not Dark Knight. Oh, yeah, building the Drac Knight. Yes. Copy that. Okay, it is time to talk about this, which is I got an email and I was like, this is kind of cool, actually. So this turned up the other week. And if you've ever wanted to this is a pre-review, I should say. If you've ever wanted to charge in the field and you don't want to you want to fly all day and you don't want to take just 1,000 batteries, maybe we have an option, because check this out. Just got to get my exercise in. 1001, 1002. We've got this bad boy. So this is a great way to drop something onto your computer and break it and break the live stream. But yeah, this massive battery, I am so stoked. We're going to be taking this to the field, seeing just how many flights we can get, like charging batteries, how many amps, and just generally having a really cool piece of kit that I think is, if you were going camping, which this is the plan, we'll have to see, with Stickman Steve and me, we're going to be going camping sometime. And if I can take this and have somewhere to charge my drones and my batteries and get everything sorted, I think this is going to go a long way servicing my need. I guess just how much flying do I need to do? But if I was going to do a lot of traveling, or especially camping in inland Australia, I'm stoked for that. And not only that, so I can fly forever. Like, it is this one right here. Where is it on the screen? Let's see. It's this bad boy. And I was like, oh, okay. Which I'm kind of a lazy person, right? So having to charge something up before it's ready is a little bit annoying. However, let's have a look, because this also turned up. And I haven't opened this one yet. Well, I should say I opened it, but I haven't taken it out of the package. Like I cut the sticky tape so we could open it on stream together. And I hope it's not broken, because it was just thrown across my driveway. So, yeah, that is, drum roll please. It's kind of heavy, and there's not much packaging, so please don't be smashed, because we have this bad boy, which, let me get this box out of here. Now I can fly forever. It's free real estate. How do we open this? I'm really nervous that it's going to be broken. God, that's massive. I feel like this might be too big to open up here. Let's have a look. So we have like a massive solar panel. How do I get this in shot? Go with that. I thought it was like one panel. Man, that's insane. I just live off this thing. If I have to go live in the bush forever, at least I think I'd still be able to. I want to make sure I can fold this up the correct way. I don't want to break it. Okay. And it's not broken, as far as I know. They are pretty durable. You're good. Yeah, well, I think like where I'm at, there's a large gate down the front of the driveway, and it was just like thrown over the top. So like a 6 foot drop. All right, I'll figure this out. Now, I've never used anything like this before, so I've never done any solar charging or external batteries. What do we got here? It might tell us. It is. Tell us how many the power rating. Direct sunlight, connecting. Peak power, 200 W at 5%. I'm not too sure what that means. So if someone else can tell me, yeah, 200. What's the capital W? What? Plus or minus 5%. Okay. Well, anyway, I feel like that is a ridiculously large solar panel that I thought it was just one panel, but it turns out it's 4. And I'm going to be combining that with this, which means we should be like flying forever. So there we go. Using the sun to power. I feel like that's the title of the video. Flying our drones off sun power with a little asterisk. Well, technically we might be. All right. That's an expensive thing you've got right there. 200 watts. Okay. They yeeted them into dive. Okay, Stu, you need to send those to me. Okay, well, it's heavy, man. It's heavy. Posting that from Australia would probably be better. Oh, you know what? It's fine. We will build a contraption, a solar-powered contraption that will ship itself there because we've got free energy now, right? Forever. So anyway, we should be having a video. I will want to also do like a fishing drone. So catching up with Stickman Steve, and if we go camping, we can do fishing. And if we take this, those solar panels, yeah, we can sort of merge those in and get them working together. Now, I do want to give a shout out, actually, a bit of a shout out to Phaser FPV. We've checked that's where we were looking at this right here. And because they are a supporter of the channel, and I have to say, shout out to just being a legend dude, because he's helped me out in the past. He sent me products for review. He doesn't mind what I say about them, whether they're pros or cons. I remember he had a huge stockpile of drones one time that I said, look, these are kind of junk. I don't like them. This is back in like 2017. And he's still been super chill ever since. And he also, when I had a friend whose house burnt down, he donated like $1,000 just to go help him out. So yeah, a really cool FPV store if you want to check him out. And the way he supports UAVFutures is he also has a side business, which is like a sister store, which is Central Coast Coffee. Here we go. So he sends me some coffee and I drink it. But I have to say a bit of a complaint here, because he sent me some coffee that's called Jack's Magic Beans. And the problem is it's like a one-off. So if you know anything about coffee and you're like, man, that was such a good blend, I really liked it. That's it. It's like once it's gone, that never comes back again, that specific blend. So there we go. I had to message you and be like, what happens if this is the best coffee I ever drink and then it's all gone? That's not fair. It'd be like someone saying you can fly FPV, you get to try digital once and then you can never go back. It's gone and you only get to fly around analog. I'm still going to love analog, but what happens if this coffee right here is like my digital version to FPV? All right. KW is a kilowatt. 200 watts, that's what my charger uses, so it can charge forever. Okay, that would be an optimal sunlight, talking about that. Someone's saying you coffee addicts. Yes, I know this has been a bit of a random stream too. I can't believe it's gone. I thought this was going to be a shorter stream because there are some things I have written down here. I guess I just like hanging out with you guys. If you've got some questions too, throw them in the chat down below. Like I say all the time, it is my best part. It is the best part of my working week. Be honest, I always feel a little bit nervous before I sit down. Anxiety is not the right word, just a nervous excitement before I click streaming. But when I'm sitting here talking to you guys now, I feel like we're just mates hanging out. We could be at the coffee shop, we could be in the field just talking whatever comes along on these happy flying episodes. So I want to say thank you to everybody who is here. It's just a cool place that I like to talk each week, no matter where you are in the world. It's great for me to connect and remind myself that I'm the same as you guys. I'm just an everyday person who likes these flying little robots, and I like to share that with my friends. And hopefully in my videos it comes across that I want you to feel like you're there as well, because it'd be very easy to be like some super technical RF guru, blah, not very easy, I should say. Like, I mean, that's definitely people's niches and what they work on, and that might come for them. But I don't have that brain power. I don't have that expertise. I just want to know, as an everyday bloke, what are these things like to fly? And yeah, they're fun. So bring your mates along, and I hope you feel you're always welcome, I should say as well. That's what I'm trying to say. I hope you feel welcome, because you always are welcome in my videos, and I want you to feel like you could be there hanging out, having a laugh, flying drones, crashing drones, and just doing dumb stuff with FPV. So analog being cheap is great for those toys you plan on crashing. Yes, absolutely. All right. What are my thoughts on Open IPC development progress? What are the latest? What is the development? Can you fill me in there? Pretty chill, because I have an email actually from one of the devs of Open IPC, and I said I'll get back to you, and that was last week. But yeah, like I mentioned at the start of the stream, the wife started on a new job. The kids have been on school holiday, so it's just been me home. This will be the last time before they're both off to school full time, and I tried to spend the week with them as just being a great dad, doing lots of things with them, no screen time, just enjoying some family time. So yeah, I'm out of the loop on if there's been a new development on Open IPC. I will get back to making videos this week, like coming into this week. It's Monday here, so we're in the future. So yeah, full-time FPV for 2025, at least for, I don't know, my wife's work till hers runs out anyway. But yeah, the kids will be at school full time, so I'll have so much more spare time to make content for you guys to film without trying to cram it into that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then it'll just give me more freedom as well. Open IPC REN system looks worth a try. Thanks for the response. Love the channel. Okay, well, I'll have to check that out. I was thinking about this the other day too. A little bit of confusing. It is a little bit confusing. If you've ever wanted to get into FPV and you're looking at some of those acronyms, and you're like, man, I don't know what that is. Like an ESC, FC, RC, electronic speed controller, radio controller, flight controller. Like, because my kid was like, what is that? The controller? What? No, that's the radio. And then I realized how confusing it is. I've done this for a decade. But if you're coming into FPV and maybe you see this video, well, hopefully we can clear some of that confusion up just around what is a controller, because there is 3 specific controllers that we refer to quite a lot and what each one of those does. So the first one is really easy. It is this, the radio controller. And often you'll hear the term RC, which stands for radio control. So we are using radio controllers, or commonly referred to as radios, to control our drone. But it gets a little bit confusing when we actually talk about the drones themselves. So on a drone, there's a bunch of different components. We're not going to go through all of them, but the two I want to mention right now is we have an FC and an ESC. And even just talking about it, like, it can be a bit of a tongue twister, but both of those are controllers. We have a flight controller and we have an electronic speed controller, or the ESC. So what does each one of those do? For future clarification, in case you ever need to repair it, or in case you need to find out I need to get a replacement, what one am I looking at? So the FC, or the flight controller, that is essentially the brain of your drone. It usually sits in the middle. It takes all the data from your radio and from the receiver, I should say, which goes to the, oh my God, let me start this again. It takes the inputs from the receiver, so the little part that is talking to your radio, and tells your drone what to do. Basically, it's doing all the thinking for your drone. So that is what is called the flight controller. It's also the part where you connect it up to your computer. You can do your programming through that that thing on Betaflight. Now the ESC, or electronic speed controller, is a part which can be built in sometimes to the board, or it can be individual ESCs, or it can be a 4-in-1 ESC, which means there's 4 of them in one. An ESC is something which takes the current from your battery and spins the motor. It is the electronic speed controller. It is telling your motors at what speed they need to spin. So the difference here, though, it can get really confusing when sometimes the FC, so the flight controller, and the ESC are built in to an all-in-one board, which means they're all together. But I think that's just something that I wanted to clarify a little bit. If you are getting confused between an FC and an ESC and an all-in-one, that I can 100% understand why that is confusing. And I'm going to do my best in the future over on DIYFPV, so the website that I'm building here. Our next update is going to be a bit of a learning update, or a knowledge-based update. So we've got a lot of stuff going on my website, but I'm all about giving people the right information and helping them in FPV and getting their brains to be able to understand that knowledge. I was a teacher for 10 years, and I think I have a small grasp on how people's brains ingest knowledge and how to get those ideas and that information into their brain. And that's what I want to work on next when it comes to this site. So there's lots of little things, but a big thing is working on like the builder and the knowledge to go with that. So that's going to be like things like, what actually is an ESC? What is an FC? What is an all-in-one? Like having some more information around that, because it's not difficult. It's not complex. It's just worded in a way that sometimes you just need a little analogy or a little different way of thinking about it. Oh, that's not so bad. I thought that was so much more confusing. Like I know, here's probably a perfect technical example where a lot of people are completely freaked out by soldering. Soldering's not hard and it's not complex. But until you actually spend some time to look at it and someone says, you know what, it's not, look, it's just like this. This is how it works. Oh, I thought it'd be way more complex than that. Or I just thought I wouldn't be able to understand. That's pretty easy, actually. That's exactly what it's like when it comes to drone components and learning and those things. So there can be some very niche cases which do require a bit of troubleshooting, but generally you're going to be able to, I would say 99% of the people in this hobby have a basic understanding. If you can put together a sandwich, you can put together a drone. I feel like that should be a slogan right there. We just came up with something great. If you can build a sandwich, you can build a drone. That's my mission. That's my mission right there. If you can't build a sandwich, well then sorry, it's not might be a little bit too unfeasible. Now, speaking of that, I do want to mention right here a troubleshooting section over on DIYFPV. And right here, what I'm going to do each week is, sometimes people can't make it to the live streams, but if you put a question in here and we answer it on stream, I have some, and I tried to find some pictures of these, and unfortunately I don't have them on. Let me just double check my Discord. No, I don't have a picture, because we've got some DIY FPV stickers, which are, I have to say, amazing. Like there is one that is like this hologram hollowed version, which is like just the logo, not the act. There's no background or anything. They look insane. Like they're really, really cool. However, if you want one of them, I thought, you know what, we've got some, let's give some away. And if I answer your question on stream, or you've got a great question, or you've answered somebody on the troubleshoot section, because it's all about getting people flying, we're going to contact you and see if we can send you out some like exclusive, pretty first generation stickers that we're not going to repeat. We have one batch. We might change them in the future, but like this first, I don't know what you'd call it, first generation of stickers. But I thought this was a good one. I really liked, it was about some goggles. Okay, this one here. So this is from Please Don't Crash, and we've got some great, I'm going to actually contact all these people in this one and see if they would like some stickers sent out to them. But it's saying, I have upgraded my quad. How can I improve the video quality of my analog FPV? I've upgraded the quad antenna and read that the video antenna on the goggles is good. I'm using the EV800Ds and I'm trying to hold off getting digital until I see the potential for Walk Snail V2 or IPC developments a little bit more. Now, the thing is, you are never going to get FPV analog that is looking as good as digital. They are two totally different or multiple different systems. Analog, it has been around as basically like old school TV, and it's low resolution, and you're going to get breakup. If you see a lot of videos of drones flying around online, you should look for some DVR, and that will tell you exactly what analog looks like. And a lot of people do not like, or they can't handle, the snow is the technical term. Sorry, it's the colloquial term. It's like the loss of reception. Now, most pilots just fly through that. You get completely used to it. Your brain doesn't even recognize it half the time. But if you first jump into FPV, that is all you are going to see, is that snow and that distortion when you first start flying. I'm going to answer that super chat in a little bit. Maddie, you absolute legend. Thank you very much. Now, to improve the quality, you essentially need to either get better goggles, because you're going to have some nicer screens, maybe with nicer colors or better refresh rates. It's going to fit a little bit better. You're going to have some easy focus. Or also to improve the signal quality of your analog drone. So something like this, you can change two things. Either one, your power level, or two, you need to change your antennas, or three, which is almost impossible, is to reduce the noise floor of everything else or reduce any other interference. So that one's kind of out of the way. But if you're flying around, just getting some quality antennas is going to make a huge difference. Usually we get a circular polarized antenna, which means you have, it's sort of like an omnidirectional antenna, which can take a signal from everywhere where the drone is actually flying around, and it doesn't matter which direction it is. And then you also, if you have a diversity receiver, will have one antenna which has like a patch or a directional antenna on it, and that will generally point in the direction that you are flying. Now, if you're flying behind trees, if you're flying through concrete, or especially if you're flying behind earth, everything that gets between you and the drone, you're going to get more and more signal degrading. What's the word there? Not degradation. The signal's going to degrade anyway. So also flying around closer to you is going to get you a better signal. And then also, if you boost the power up, you're going to get more of that signal is going to get to your goggles to give you that feed. So if you're flying around on, say, 25 milliwatts versus 800 milliwatts, you're going to have a significantly better long-range experience the more power that you put into the VTX. So thank you very much for that question right here. So please don't crash. And then what's Lewis? Lewis might have answered this much more succinctly. Upgrade goggles, antennas, stock are fine, but you could do better. I definitely think this is the cheap, best option to go for. Upgrading your antenna, absolutely. There's some good cheap ones out there. Just go to the catalog, look up antennas, and you will find a whole bunch. They don't need to be expensive either. Turn up output power. And then, oh, here's a good one, actually. Thank you very much, Lewis. Yeah, try. This is true, but I don't know how much it affects an everyday pilot. Like, the lower the hertz, or the lower the frequency, the better, it's right here, the better penetration that you're going to get. So if you really want to fly around, some people fly on like 2.4 video. It's not very common. You can do that. You need much bigger antennas. Generally in FPV, we fly around on what's called 5.8. But if you really want to min-max it, a lower frequency is going to be better as well. And then, did he say to turn off your Wi-Fi if you're getting some interference around your house as well? Turn off anything that's could possibly be interfering. And then he's saying maybe a better camera. So that's just going back to better camera, better goggles, that sort of stuff. So, all right. And then someone, I think a better camera, it will be the most important. A couple of things. You're saying I keep the connectors clean every couple of months. Yeah, I don't know if that, I don't think I've ever done that, but all right. Anyway, he's got some great responses there from Lewis. I will contact both of these people, and if you have a question or you want a DIY FPV sticker, put a question over on the troubleshoot right there. Maddie Dubs is saying, Stu, love your channel. Appreciate your contribution to the community and your transparency with real life struggles. Thank you very much, my friend. It is my pleasure. Thank you for that donation. It supports the channel, and hopefully I can make your day and other people's days just a little bit better, because we do talk about mental health every time on this stream. I've struggled with it in the past. Thankfully, I'm in a much better place now, but I know what it was like when things were really tough. And if I can use my platform, I know I love FPV and they do change people's lives, but what I really love is helping people change their lives, and drones are the best way that I know how to do that. But if you are somebody who is struggling, this goes to anybody out there, or if you're just not feeling right, do what I did, and I went and spoke to a doctor. It might, if you broke your leg, I say this every week, if you broke your leg, you'd go to the doctors. If you broke your brain, so to speak, go to the doctors. Like, it's not weak to speak. Please don't feel isolated or alone. And I know it can be really hard when the doctor says, oh, just do all this stuff that you don't want to do. You should just eat better, sleep better, get some exercise. Yeah, I can't do that stuff because I'm not feeling great. Like, is that not computing? So I feel like there's that little bit of a disconnect there. But the first thing that you do need to do is at least talk to somebody about it, so you're not just bouncing it around and ruminating on it in your own mind. So if that's you, we have an amazing FPV community. You can head over to DIYFPV. You can send me a message on there. There's a Discord link down below. I just don't want people to feel alone, because the world is a better place with you in it. I am also, FPV is a better place with you here. So this might not be going out to everybody that I'm talking to. They might be totally fine. But if this is going out to you, if you're the person listening to this who just needs to hear this today, to say, you're special. You really are valued. And you, thanks for being here. I appreciate it. It means a lot to me to have you here and just to be able to chat. So I want to say thank you. Truly, thank you. All right. And thank you, Maddie, for the super chat. If I didn't, maybe I'll have to send you a sticker there, buddy. Send me an email or actually send me a message over on DIYFPV, and we'll figure something out. All right. Before we go, man, this was meant to be a shorter stream. Did I just get a message from DIYFPV about the stickers? No. All right, Johnny D, he's sending me a message. He's saying, good night, everyone. Catch you later, Johnny D. RC. Should I choose AKK or Rush Tank, or is it better to save up for digital? That's for Bronze FPV. Well, Bronze, how many systems do you have? Like, is this your first one? Do you already have a bunch of analog systems? Because we need a little bit more information. It's totally different if you're a first-time person coming into the hobby, or if you already have a fleet set up, like, which let me know with a little bit more information, if you could, please. And then I'm just going to catch up on some of these chats, and then that's probably, unless some more questions come in, that might be the end of the stream, guys. I thought this was going to be like a half an hour stream. I didn't know I had too much to talk about, unless I've done a lot of rambling. Let's have a look. Spoken about the fishing drones, extending your range on the goggle antennas, the field charging, the wings, a bit of a slower week. All right, let's see. Someone's saying the Rush over the AKK. Okay, that's from Chris Croft. I guess versus those two. Look, I have recently flown. I haven't flown any Rush VTXs. Ooh, actually, yes, I have in my wing. I didn't have any issues. However, I also flew the AKK. It was like a super high watt one. Not that I flew it on those power levels, if you're listening, regulators. But I didn't like the AKK one. I was losing my video signal every time I armed and disarmed, which I found a little bit just irritating. It was fine when it was actually flying, but I don't know why it was doing that. Like, we tried to solve that issue. I mean, I could never make the drone not have that, but I didn't have that experience with the Rush. But in saying that, I don't know. Now, should you save up for? I'm going to try and answer your question here because I can't see a response. Is it better to save up for digital? If you are getting into the hobby today, it's really hard. Like, if it depends how long you've saved for as well. Like, if you're a kid and you're going to be waiting another 12 months before you Christmas and birthdays for like getting some to have enough to maybe try and go digital, at least analog is cheaper. It might be able to jump in and start flying. If you are somebody though who's like a normal average income bloke who's working full time, I would say you probably, if you can, save up for digital. That's what I would do. I would save up for digital with everything that I know now. If you haven't flown FPV before, you might be thinking, oh, will I like this? You're going to like digital more than you do like analog. It's just a couple of different factors. I know there's no right or wrong answer there. It's really depends on your circumstance. I guess watch the videos, watch some cheaper analog versions and watch some DVR and think, hey, is that what I want to fly around with? Or watch some digital versions and go from there. Now, unfortunately, I can't tell you what the DJI O4 is like. I should be able to very, very soon. We've got some coming in the post. I don't want to make the statement of saying go and buy DJI and get in cheap and do that without actually testing it. So yeah, just do some research. Isn't the right? Yeah, do some research. Like I wish I could help you more. That's my opinion. Is I would be saving up for digital, but there's nothing wrong with analog. But I also can't confirm on what the latest digital experience is actually like. Okay. Johnny DRC is saying he's switching over to Walk Snail. You're already in Walk Snail, Johnny DRC. My only problem with the Rush Solo, it was too large to fit in the Source 1 frame that he had. Okay, yeah, also depends what VTX you're going to get and what frame you're going to be putting it in as well. I know I had a bit of a problem with the AKK ones. But of course, they're like the long range, super high watt ones, so they didn't fit too much. And Sean Williams, are we getting a 2025 UAVFutures World Tour meetups? Do you want one, buddy? You can come crash here, man. Sure. I used to actually do that. I used to sometimes catch up with some pilots way back. This is before COVID. And yeah, I think I met up with like 10 pilots and there was like an Airbnb and we just crashed there and flew drones around and went flying for a couple of, I don't know, like 3-4 days or something. It was really fun times, actually. All right. Rundle, I selling my Walk Snail stuff. DJI is better. That's what Chris Croft is saying. And other people saying switching to DJI is accepting defeat. Okay. Yeah. All right. I can't wait to test that stuff out. All right. I want to say thanks so much for everybody who has been in the stream. Remember, I'm going to have to contact those people about getting some of those DIYFPV hologram stickers shipped out. If you would like to get one next week, head over to the troubleshooter and just drop a question in here. If we can answer it, I'm going to try and link this video too where I answered this, improving the image quality. But yeah, head over to DIYFPV. Put your troubleshoot questions in. It's all aimed at getting people flying. And you never know too, like the answers might help somebody else in the future as well. So head over there. I want to say thanks everybody for being here. I hope you have a fantastic week. I will be doing so much UAVFutures work this week. I don't know if the videos will actually make it out, but yeah, I'm stoked. It's going to be a huge year for for FPV, as far as I'm concerned, are the things that I want to do. Stay safe. You are cared. You are valued. And as always, happy flying. You are cared for. I care about you. That's what I was trying to say there with some better English and some better sentence structure and syntax. All right. Catch you guys.